for the end. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Bristol, Tennessee, and Tennessee High School's Viking Hall for game 19 of the 38th annual Arby's Classic. Tonight's final game features the Crusaders of Long Island Lutheran High School from Brookville, New York, versus the Tampa Catholic High School Crusaders from Tampa, Florida. And now for our starting lineups, beginning with Tampa Catholic. At guard, a 6'3" junior wearing number 1, Ed Bronson. At guard, a 5'11" freshman wearing number 2, Isaiah Campbell-Finch. Playing forward, the 6'1" senior, number 3, Roderick Watson-Percy. At the forward, 6'4" junior wearing number 5, Carmelo Branch. And at guard, 6'5" sophomore, number 21, Carter Knox. Tampa Catholic is under the direction of head coach Don DeZapua. And now the starting lineup for the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders. At guard, a 6'2" senior, wearing number 1, Jalen Pierre. At guard, 5'11" junior, number 3, Jalen Reed. At guard, a 6'6" junior, number 4, James Johns. At forward, 6'10" junior, wearing number 20, Andy Nijai. And at forward, 6'9" senior, number 21, Finley Sheridan. Long Island is coached by head coach John Buck. Your official scorer for tonight's game, Will Grubbs, your clock operator, Steve Homemaker, and your officials, Butch Patterson.
Good evening and welcome to Bristol, Tennessee High School. We are here at Viking Hall for the 38th annual Arby's Classic. Our final game of the night is one that was highly anticipated between two Crusader teams, one from Tampa, Florida, and the other from Brookville, New York. The Long Island Lutheran Crusaders versus the Tampa Catholic Crusaders. Lots of Division I talent on display here throughout this evening. So we're going to see two teams that we expect want to get up and down. We'll see how that plays out here as we roll through size, athleticism, right? All types of talent out here on the floor for these two sides.
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't get to see Long Island Lutheran for very long last night. That was when I was eating dinner and then working on a couple other things, getting ready for the next game. So pretty excited to get a chance to look at those guys and see what we got here.
Tap goes to Johns, puts it in the hands of number 3, Jaden Reed, who is a top 100 ESPN Rivals player. And you can see right there with that quick and slick behind the back move. That was what he did all night last night. Ball's loose and out of bounds. Jaden Pierre, who is a Providence commit. We'll see him handle the ball quite a bit, ball being in his hands quite a bit as well. So, ball's in here for Tampa Catholic in the hands of Isaiah Campbell Finch. He was an impressive player last night.
He was.
Yeah.
He had an excellent night last night, just making plays,
Yep.
steals, making things happen for the Crusaders.
Absolutely. There's Edrin Bronson, who's also a Division I level recruit. That pivot foot just slightly there. And then turnover to start the ball game for Tampa Catholic. Ball into Pierre. And he's going to look to push pace. And there's a Reed on the receiving end. Couldn't quite get that one there, but a nice tip in there by Finley Sheridan. Nicely done to open the scoring here this evening. Good ball pressure there by Reed. Giving Campbell Finch all he wants right there in that case. Robinson was kind of up and down last night.
Yeah.
A guy that came in pretty highly touted Division I level player. Was a little inconsistent last night. We'll see if he can step his game up to reach the level of talent. Here we go with Johns to the rim. Johns, another top 150 recruit as a junior. He was Long Island's leading scorer. He had a big second half against Tennessee High yesterday. Campbell Finch a little short on that jumper.
Tough shot.
Yeah. Tried to get the defender to run past him with that behind the back dribble. Got free, but left the ball short a little bit. Here's Njai going straight. A nice drop-off pass to Sheridan. That's nice. Big man to big man.
Yeah.
Interior passing. That's nice. Sheridan is the recipient there from Njai. Nice pass. The ball was kind of low below his knees and caught it easily, took it up and scored. 6-0 until that shot right there. That's Carmelo Branch.
That's Carmelo's spot.
Yeah,
he hit a couple from right there last night.
Yep, one right before half yesterday. That was from a deep spot on the floor. He seems pretty confident. That is Carmelo with a K, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
Carmelo
Remember
with a K.
Last night.
100%.
Yep, got that taken care of. Here's Sheridan again. He's been real active in this early phase. A couple of buckets, 6 points in total, I believe. He's being found. He was a good player yesterday as well. Kind of an understated guy, but again, 6'9", 6'10". Long, looked like he could score with either hand. There goes Carter Knox to the rim. Might have got fouled there, but no call. Took it strong. Again, Knox is a high-level recruit as well. Great catch there by Johns. I passed a little bit behind him, but he was able to pull it in and pull Long Island up to a 10-3 lead here in the early going. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter, so we're just getting underway. Knox was extremely impressive last night. Like to see the ball probably in his hands a little bit more. I'm wondering about that from last night because he obviously got his last night, but he didn't seem to be like a primary focus in terms of what they did.
Especially not early.
Yeah.
Early in the game, he kind of let things come to him.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals where, like really the whole first half, you were like, when's he going to get going? When's he going to get going? And then all of a sudden, he got going.
Yeah. Well, and his athleticism, he's a pretty tall, lanky guy, about 6'6", with long arms. But he's got really good bounce. That was the one part that when we saw it happen last night, we're like, wow, this guy can really get off the floor and quickly.
Well, you think about that one that he had last night where he just kind of sidestepped a guy and just hammered
Bam!
it.
Yeah,
and it was
down,
like
just like that, yeah.
just took your breath away. It was like, holy cow. I mean, you just didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Nice move there by Carmelo, followed by Sheridan. He's going to go to the line for two, I believe, or they're going to call it on the floor. Ball is on the floor. So out of bounds for Tampa Catholic. They got some sharp uniforms.
Yes.
Green
I like
uniforms are
those
really
green
nice.
uniforms.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big green guy, but I think those look really
work.
sharp.
Yeah. Edrin Bronson up off the rim there. Got a good look at it. Got a little.
Nobody wants to let go.
Yeah, got a little little testosterone going there in the early phase.
Yeah.
See who's who and what's what. So, jump ball. Ball stays here with the green-clad Crusaders. Kind of a slow start for those guys. Long Island got out in transition to get this thing going. It's got themselves a couple of nice buckets there. Good defense by Reed. He was doing that all night last night. He's got really quick hands. You can see the transition speed. That's what he brings to the table. Not the biggest guy. He's a really good athlete. He's quick in transition, but man, he really gets up and down the floor in a hurry. Right?
It looks like he's having a little fun with it too.
Yeah.
You know, let everybody know a little bit about it and just having some fun.
So Reed's just a junior, so he's got another year of eligibility. He, along with Johns, both juniors here in this class, but again, both ranked in the top 150 in the ESPN Rivals. So again, these guys are legitimate top-end recruits. I think from what I saw, Reed is kind of mulling over offers from places like UConn and Wake Forest, right? Maybe even a couple of others. So that's, you know.
Yeah, I think that's Johns actually. Johns is UConn and
Okay.
Wake Forest. We in our media guide we don't have Reed who he's been looking at offers from, but
Okay.
I mean if he's a top 150 guy, you know, it says he came in most recently at number 130 in his class. He's going to be getting some big time offers.
Well, and it shows out here the way he plays. He's crafty. He's got quick hands. He's got long arms for a shorter guy, and that's one thing I notice a lot of times about these guys that defend the ball. Whereas steps in and starts to exert himself here. Those guys that are shorter but have long arms, they're tough, especially defensively because he moves so well laterally.
Well, and it's one of those things too where sometimes it's not about height. I mean, it is really about length and about what you can do, and you know, it's just one of those things. I mean, you're looking at what you can do as far as being disruptive, and that length will do that for you.
Absolutely. Here comes Carmelo with the three from long range. No good that time. A little off to the left. But yeah, again, when you start looking at the different components that these guys bring to the game, you know, Johns is your sort of long and lanky wing. He's got good bounce to his game, shoots it decently. Here's Pierre again, Providence commit, who I was impressed with him yesterday in terms of how he kind of kept. He was kind of the calming influence out there for Long Island. Reed and Johns really pushed pace well, but good hustle there. It's going to end up back with Tampa Catholic, I believe. There was a couple of points in the game where Reed and Johns were a little bit out of control, and the senior, Pierre, said, I will take over at this point. I'm going to take this ball right here. We're going to get ourselves into a good set and kind of calm him down in that case. So, you want to let your thoroughbreds run, but there's a certain time where the jockey's got to take control, and that's kind of the role that he played yesterday in that game against Tennessee High. So 15-6 here. We're under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Looks like Tampa Catholic still trying to figure out exactly how they want to attack this extended man-to-man. Nice move there by Bronson. He might get a little roll. He does. Nice little friendly roll here. But, he's an intriguing guy too. Pretty well-built guy. Pretty stout. Looks like he's got pretty good range to his game too. What I remember looking at that yesterday, he's getting some Division I looks in a couple of different from a couple of different decent-sized schools.
Yeah,
So,
Dayton and Fairfield.
Yeah.
Dayton is you know, I mean, again, like we talked about with Belmont, with Gillespie. I mean, that's a team that wins NCAA tournament games.
Yep. Well, and again, Dayton's moved out of that. What I guess at one point in time would be considered mid-major. They're a major school, right? Playing.
Well, I mean, they were going to be a number one seed the year the tournament got shut down with Obi Toppin and those guys.
No question.
I mean, so yeah, big time program.
Rise up for a jumper, misses it a little bit to the left. Again, this is where Long Island wants to be. They want to be in transition right here, pushing pace, and taking advantage of their guard play. Pierre takes a strong, swatted, right? Pretty good D right there by Roderick Watson-Percy. I think he maybe got fouled on the way up, but it wasn't called. One thing we probably should mention is head coach Dan DeZagua from Tampa Catholic has won how many games? 600
a ton. A ton.
615 games or something like that after last night?
I mean, 600, 614 coming into this year.
So
more now, but.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
It's just not a number that you see every day.
No.
That's for sure. That means you've been coaching a long time.
You've been coaching a long time and winning a lot of games.
I mean, think about 20 wins over 30 years. You're still it's just getting you to 600. Yeah, that's an insane amount. So Bronson's heading in to shoot 2. First one's up and off to the left, no good. Second one's up and is good. So 10-point lead here for Long Island. They've been able to control the pace here so far, getting themselves to the rim. A couple of outside looks, but for the most part, it's been getting to the paint and to the rim. Here's Reed pulling up for a 3, and he buries it. Right? Straight on. That's a really confident-looking shot right there. Stopped on a dime, rose up, and knocked it down.
Yeah, it looked to me almost like he was thinking about throwing the lob, and then he's like, "No, you're gonna slack off of me. I'm gonna knock one down."
Yeah, that's really what he did right there. Is sort of the hallmark of his game. He is really good defensively, moving laterally, keeping people in front of him, and he's got great hands as well. So his transition from defense to offense is as good as anybody I've seen in the tournament so far. Really, real confident player. He brings from what I've seen, he brings just the right level of cockiness to the table. And I don't mind it, right? As a coach or even as just an observer. If a guy is playing with that little bit of
just that little bit of swagger. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, I would much rather have that. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for humility and being classy and all those things that people talk about, but you want your best players to have that little bit of swagger.
Well, absolutely.
I mean, coach is fired up.
Yeah. And if they don't bring that, then sometimes it's just the element that's missing for a kid to go from being a really good player to being a great player, right? So again, it's got to be a little bit of there's got to be a little control behind it as well. But I like guys that come out and play confidently, and they can also back up that confidence with the level of play they bring to the floor. 15-point lead has kind of it's kind of slowly been built. Here's Knox stepping back, he's got a nice stroke. Left that one a little bit off the rim. I'd like to see him be a little more aggressive here, taking it to the rim.
I think they're going to really need him to be able to hang in this game. This is one of those games where your best player is going to have to take over. I mean, we talked about with Howson in the last game how, when they really needed something, especially early, he just went and got it. Yeah. And that's and we'll see if Knox can do that against an opponent of this caliber. Yeah. That's certainly what he did yesterday.
Yes.
And so, hopefully for their sake and for us who want a good close game to call, that's what he'll be able to do right here.
Yeah, and I would suspect that Coach Zag was probably going to have that conversation with him right now. From what I saw yesterday, he has the ability to step out and knock down jump shots, yes. But his best game was being able to size people up and then going by. And again, you're dealing with with a lot of length here on the back end for Long Island. But from what I saw yesterday as well, his bounce can match anything that happens there. So he's probably going to need to be a little bit more assertive here for his team to be able to stay in this ballgame. So after one, we've got a 24-9 lead. Long Island Lutheran over Tampa Catholic. We'll be back here shortly to take you guys through the second quarter action here at the 38th Annual Arby's Classic. Welcome back to Viking Hall. Second quarter action here at the Arby's Classic. Nice quarter there for Long Island Lutheran. Real under control. I didn't see anything there. They pushed pace for sure, but they got what they wanted in transition. And Tampa Catholic just kind of struggled on the offensive end.
Yeah, Tampa Catholic just hasn't figured out exactly how to penetrate this defense.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday they were able to really attack the bucket and able to get some things on, both in transition and in the half court. And so far, it's just not been there for them. I mean, Long Island Lutheran has not turned it over at all, so they haven't really had a chance to get out. And in the half court, they're just kind of at a loss for how to attack these guys because they're able to stay in front of them.
Yeah. Well, we have another 6'11" player coming off the bench from Long Island, Jackson Carroll. I don't think played yesterday.
Big dude.
And he looks every part of a man out there. Right? So.
And now he's matched up here on a switch.
Yep.
Does a good job staying in front. I mean, that's what you want a big guy to do.
Sheridan in there with the rebound. Reed saving that from going out of bounds.
Day. Just big guy after big guy to go with these jitterbug guards. That's a heck of a move right there. A little water bug.
Yeah. Reed is tough. Right?
I mean,
one of those guys that you probably are going to see shine in these bigger ball games. He seems to be. He's kind of built like that. He's going to be a guy that's going to come in with quite a bit of swagger, but he loves these types of situations. You can tell. There's Pierre pulling up, no good. And that was an example right there of Knox really taking it strong to the rim. In that case, lost it off this. So he's being more aggressive. I'm assuming that was part of the between quarters talk. Two plays and he's gone to the rim twice, hard on both of them. Came up empty on both occasions, however. So switching up a little bit. We're trying to push defense down a little bit further, maybe disrupt what Long Island's doing. Pass to,
a little miscommunication right there.
Was it you? No, it was me. That was you. Right. So, but again, you look at Long Island's lineup, and here they bring in the other 6'10" guy. Right?
And whichever one coach thought was at fault right there, just come sit down.
So Njai comes back in, and again, so you have a lot of depth here with Long Island in terms of what they're going to bring to the table. Their length is definitely disruptive. So Tampa, again, I think that's a good assessment. Tampa's still trying to figure out how to penetrate this D. That's probably not going to get it done.
And again, you look at these big guys able to just switch and stay at home. I mean, they haven't been able to put a big guy on skates or anything like that. I mean, good hustle by Njai right there.
Reed missed that layup. He's kind of upset with himself in that case. But what I am seeing from Tampa that I did not see last night is I am seeing them force some stuff. They were really under control almost all night. Didn't kind of let the game come to them. But again, you start seeing yourself down 15, 17 points. All of a sudden, forcing things kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, you get a little frustrated. You get start to press a little bit. I mean, that's a tough shot, and he knocks that down.
Ed Bronson, Division I level move there. Right? But
absolutely.
Again, he's still having to earn every piece of that. Make a tough shot that wasn't particularly high percentage. So Long Island's really stepping up their defensive. Their defensive intensity has been really good from moment one. Pierre with a nice follow-away jumper there. Nice pass there by Knox down low. We've got a foul there, I do believe. Branch made a nice kind of up and under move. Brought the ball up through the arms of Sheridan and is going to get himself in the free throw. I like Branch's game. He's not the most explosive guy on the floor, but he's a confident shooter from the perimeter. Seems to find his way into space pretty well, and the ball seems to find him pretty regular. First free throw's up and off the rim.
Yeah, I mean, it was really his shooting that kind of got him going last night, and kind of got the separation in that game against East Hamilton. They were really neck and neck early on, and then he hit a couple threes, and it just really got a little distance between them and East Ham.
Yeah, agreed.
Looks like we've got a violation.
We're going to get a third opportunity. Shot. Takes advantage of the third opportunity, knocks it down. So 16-point lead here. Long Island 28, Tampa 12. heading up on the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. This is what I saw yesterday with Pierre. Really under control. When the ball's in his hands, people seem to get to the right spots. The sets get run correctly. Here's Injai with a nice back cut. Good challenge there. Got a little body contact, though. Watson Percy saw the play happening. Made a good attempt to be able to challenge that shot. Injai was able to take contact. Gets himself a free throw. First shot up for Injai is up and off the back of the rim. He's got one more coming. Second attempt, up and good. So, Tampa Catholic.
They need a bucket really bad.
Yes, they need to probably string a couple together here. Nice cut there by Bronson, and one. That is a big-time play, but that hurt a little bit on the way down. Yeah, pretty good collision there. It's a heck of a shot, left-handed on top of everything else. Injai on the foul there. So Bronson's going to head to the line for one. It's a kind of an acrobatic shot there around the 6'10" Injai. Earned himself a chance at an old-fashioned three-point play. Got a little liquid on the floor here. A little cleanup on aisle one here as we get ready for Bronson to shoot his and one free throw.
You know, a little ice in the shooter here.
We're a little early in the game for that, are we not?
You would think.
You would think. That worked, right?
I guess.
Ball comes off long into the hands of Reed. He is I don't think I've seen anybody quicker than him so far in this term. We got a bunch of guys that can really move, but I think he's probably got the best jets that I've seen.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah, nice move there. Good kick out to Johns, who lines one up. Couldn't knock it down, but again, that's what I'm saying. First step quickness is just about lights out.
I mean, the word there is blow by.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. He just blew by that guy. Here he goes.
Nice look. Yeah, it's a subtle thing, but you saw how he just kind of slowed himself up just enough to be able to where he could get behind that pass.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The patience he showed right there for a guy with those kind of jets to be able to show that kind of patience is just super impressive because, you know, a lot of kids that are really quick, they're going to be like, well, I'm quicker than that guy. I'm just going to go. But instead, he's like, no, I know I have a 2-on-1. I'm going to take advantage of what we've got, and he's got another one, and his buddy missed it.
Yeah, just missed time to jump there a little bit, but he was able to do that all afternoon yesterday as well. And that's the part that I was when I was doing that game yesterday. His vision is really top notch.
Yeah.
For not being the tallest guy out there, he sees the floor really well. But again, just that little subtle kind of little half step right there to slow himself up so he can put that pass on the pinpoint. That's stuff that you can't teach. You either have that or you don't. Right? And so his floor knowledge to go along with that speed makes him kind of a unique player in this tournament.
Well, and there's a reason, you know, at 5'11" that he's able to be a top 150 recruit. You know, and it's exactly that. Mm-hmm. It's his quickness, but also that vision that you're talking about. You know, if he doesn't have either, if he is missing either of those aspects, he probably isn't that kind of a recruit. But because he has that kind of vision and the speed, man, it's a just dangerous combination.
Very much so. He's a fun guy to watch. And he pairs really well with the other two guards that are out there. Pierre's really steady. Now, obviously has a little sizzle to his own game right here. You see him move. You see him working.
Man.
Yeah. Handling the ball like it's on a string right there. He's a little bit larger guy. doesn't quite have the same jitterbug style. He's tough in his own right. And then you got Johns, who's kind of your combo guard, who shoots the ball really well, but is also really athletic and longer, 6'5", 6'6". So it's a really good combination of guys at Long Island.
We're going to get a timeout right here. A little quick 30-second timeout.
So during that 30-second timeout, I think we need to shout out our producer, Colin Moore, who's has been all over the place. Right?
100%.
I mean, we obviously wouldn't be able to do this without him, so he needs some recognition. He's the guy behind the scenes that nobody hears, nobody sees, but this operation does not operate without him. So we want to thank Colin for all the work that he's been doing. He's been here probably pretty much every moment that this thing's been going on. You don't have these types of things going on without that level of technical expertise. So we appreciate him in that case. He makes our jobs a lot easier. That's for sure.
Yeah, let's just say we are not the most tech savvy of folks, and Colin gets it all done, and even figured out how to get us live stats yesterday, and that's just been one more thing that just really gets it done. So we really appreciate everything that he's doing and making us look and sound as good as we can look and sound.
I'm holding up my pinky finger saying that Colin's probably got more tech knowledge in his right pinky than Coach Tiller and I probably have in our whole bodies. And we're not slouches necessarily.
No.
But he's just got that going on. All right, so here we go, second quarter.
We're going to stop embarrassing him now.
That's right. Talking him up. Reed for three. He's got it. Yep. Right there. Just who he is.
And if he can hit that shot, that makes it even tougher, because then you've got to really close out, and then that's when the blow by happens.
Yeah. Nice move here by Knox, but Ninja, that's got to be a foul. I mean, maybe I didn't have the greatest angle to see that, but I don't think a guy ends up on the floor right there without some body contact.
Yeah, I mean, but it's one of those things, and you know very well that a lot of times the more aggressive team is going to get away with more.
That's true.
I mean,
that's a good point.
And right now Long Island is by far the more aggressive team, and so I mean, it's kind of the old George Pittsism. They can't call them all.
Right.
So, when you're the more aggressive team, a lot of times you're going to get away with some things because you're setting that tone.
Trust me, I came out of some of those games against Science Hill with my forearms attesting to the fact that they didn't call them all, or very many of them,
or
for that matter. Right?
Idiot all sometimes.
Sure felt that way. It sure felt that way. That's for sure. So anyway, 14-point game here. Nothing really seems out of reach at this point, but it reminds me a little bit of the game before, where Long Island's just in full control of what's going on, dictating pace. Knox has been a little bit more aggressive here in the second quarter. I'm sure by design, but he's going up against some men out there, that's for sure. And I guess the thing that works against Knox to a certain extent is he's not a primary ball handler. So it's hard for a guy in his case, although he's plenty capable with the ball in his hands.
But somebody's got to get it
to him.
I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, he's not on the ball all the time. So, I mean, he's got to get some help from some of his guys, and they frankly just have got to make some shots.
Yeah, Bronson's been really aggressive. Campbell Finch has been a guy that's kind of slid to the background, and he was a primary guy last night.
We haven't called his name at all.
Not much.
I mean, since the first part of the first quarter.
Yeah. Step back shot by Pierre. That's nice. That's
such a tough shot.
When we talk about Division I level moves or Division I level capability, that's what we're talking about. On the offensive end, if you can make that shot and make it look as easy as he just made it, that's Division I level stuff. Just can't seem to solve this perimeter defense here that Long Island's putting against him. It's a combination of speed and length out there that's really making life miserable for the Tampa Catholic guards. And the thing that we noticed last night as well is with Knox, he needs a little space.
Yeah.
If you get him in space, he's really tough to handle.
They're giving him no space.
They're giving him no space. They're up in him just about wherever he goes. And they have the length. Oh, my goodness. I mean,
I hate that he didn't get an assist for that one, because just that dribble move alone.
Yeah.
Mercy. He should get something for that.
And he did it without breaking stride.
Yeah.
That was the other part about that. Is one thing to make a nice move behind your back, but do it while you're at basically moving at full speed.
I mean, that makes my ankles hurt just sitting here.
True enough.
Goodness.
That's a heck of a move. But as good a move as I've seen all night, even though it didn't produce anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of eye-popping just in general. So, I mean, the thing I would be interested to see with Reed over the next, say, years, is he done growing, first of all? Maybe he's not, right?
He might not be.
And if he fills out a little bit more physically, because, right now he probably goes maybe, 150?
If
that, maybe 145. If he ends up 6'1" and 165, man, you think about it, he'd be a guy that coming in as a freshman is probably going to make some noise at the Division I level, just because of the speed and other intangibles that he brings to the game. But I mean, right now, if he looks exactly like he looks going into his senior year and out of that, he's still going to be a Division I recruiter at a pretty high level.
100%. I mean, the guy who makes me think of who's smaller than him is the freshman guard at Tennessee, Zakai Ziegler.
Yes.
I mean, he reminds me a lot of him in his quickness, kind of his fearlessness, and the way that he just can just stop and change on a dime. And that guy's having a pretty good freshman season.
Right. And as observers, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but the one thing that separates guys that you can tell to just have that extra level to them is how they actually physically carry themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the one thing you notice is countenance. He's kind of animated at times, but for the most part, you look at and see a lot of determination in the way that he goes about things, just on the moment to moment.
And for a small guy, that you got to be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, to really compete at that highest level, you're going to have that dog in you.
Yeah.
You're going to have that just real fight and determination. And he looks like he's definitely got it to me.
I agree completely. So that.
I'll tell you, I'd take him on any team that I was ever a part of.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and again, as we look at and start talking about comparisons. Again, all these guys bring their own strengths to the table, but when we look at, say, the field as a whole here, as we get to the last 30 seconds of the first half, 15-point lead here for Long Island. As we look down the list of the best players that we've seen so far, there's a lot of contrast here in terms of who if I was going to pick a top 5 or even a top 3 right now. In the games that I've seen, Reed would definitely be there amongst them. Housen from Amarillo is another one that stands out in terms of his just what he brings. I'm trying to come up with a third one that's been as impactful. And I would have thought that Knox might have been that guy going into this game, but I think his youth shows a little bit when you go up against. These are men right out here. I mean, juniors and seniors. Yeah.
Honestly, today it's been Jacoby Gillespie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, if we want to talk about impact, that's who it's been today.
Yeah.
Is Jacoby without question.
I think that's a great pickup on that, and the fact that he probably wouldn't have been held up in the strata of these top level Division I recruits. He's the best player I've seen today. Right.
Yeah.
Overall, in terms of what
he definitely had the best day today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, at least thus far.
Yeah. As far as impact points, whatever you want to put it, whatever category you want to put it in. He's the one guy. If you take him off the team he's on, it would leave just a massive gaping hole in that squad. So, and again, taking nothing else away from Greenville, they played well as a team. I mean, they played probably the best team game of any team today. But without his presence there, that just doesn't happen. Right? So. That's a good pickup on that point right there in that particular case. All right, so we're 37-22, halftime of our final game of the evening here at Viking Hall. Long Island in pretty good control right now, and we'll see if Tampa Catholic can claw their way back in as we start the second half. We've got about 10 minutes here that we're going to take. We'll be back with you guys to finish up this night's action here at the 38th Annual Arby's Classic.
Welcome back to the 38th Annual Arby's Classic. It's halftime of the final game of the evening. Long Island Lutheran with a 37-22 lead over Tampa Catholic. We got some stats for you here at the half. Long Island Lutheran, it's hard to say because we got two Crusaders here, but the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders were 16 for 30 from the field in the first half, so that's just a tick over 50%. 13 for 25 from 2, 3 for 5 from downtown. They out-rebounded Tampa Catholic 18 to 14, and, really didn't have hardly any turnovers in that first half. Tampa Catholic had 6, Long Island Lutheran with a pair. Tampa Catholic, though, ice cold from the field, largely due to the Long Island Lutheran defense. I mean, no easy shots really for Tampa Catholic. They were 8 for 27 from the field, including 2 for 8 from 3. So, a really tough night shooting the ball for the Tampa Catholic Crusaders. Individually, for Long Island Lutheran, the leading scorer was a fellow we've talked a little bit about, Jaden Reed, who had 10 points. Not a super efficient half from him, 4 of 11 from the field, but 2 of 3 from 3. So, also able to do that. He also had 3 assists. So a good job right there for him. As far as other scores for the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders, it was a pretty balanced affair. Jaden Pierre with 8, James Johns with 6, and Finley Sheridan with 6. So, pretty balanced attack other than, a little double figures there from Reed. Looking over at Tampa Catholic, of course, struggled from the field with just 22 points. They were led in scoring by Carmelo Branch with 10 points. He was 3 for 5 from the field in that first half. Bronson was 3 for 7 points. And the big thing here, really, from our point of view, Carter Knox just 5 points on 2 for 10 from the field. You can tell that Long Island Lutheran has really zeroed in on Mr. Knox, and they're just not going to let him beat them.
Yep. And
that's really been the difference in the game here. The difference between last night and tonight for the Tampa Catholic Crusaders is Knox has been unable to get going.
Yep.
And, the real credit for that goes to the team effort on defense for Long Island Lutheran.
Yep, and the coaching staff, obviously, that's got to be a challenge in one of these tournaments where you can read all you want about these folks, and there's probably a little bit of film on these guys available, but you got to just be able to show up, watch these games, and know and be able to kind of pick out what needs to happen. So testament to their coaching staff too to put together a defensive game plan that really seems to understand about how to take away the strengths of the opposing team. So you were just never really sure about that when you get teams of these calibers together. But Long Island's just been a little bit of a step ahead in terms of what they've been able to do, especially on the defensive end. The guards from Tampa Catholic just have not been able to figure out a mechanism to be able to both penetrate effectively, but also be able to get some ball movement in place that's going to lead to open shots, and it just hasn't been there.
Yeah, one of the things, talking about scouting and film, it is a little bit more readily available now with the advent of Huddle and being able to you don't have to go and meet somebody somewhere to pick up a film or like in the old days. I can think of so many times where I had to go and meet somebody like at a Wendy's on the side of the interstate or different things. And now with Huddle we are able to share all of these to the guys in the tournament through the way that we're filming these games.
Right.
And there is a little bit more availability, but the turnaround time to be able to, have prepared for your first round opponent. And then, some of these teams, you just don't necessarily have the resources to be looking at and by resources, I mean the time to look at the other teams.
Yeah, 24-hour turnaround after you've gone through a fairly grueling affair just in general, and then be able to get into a gym somewhere and run through anything but a shoot around is a lot to ask. But it sure seems like you said, zeroing in on Knox sure seems to be what they've been able to do. Well, and just naturally on the perimeter, they've been able to keep the guards in front of them.
And these two teams played the last 2 games last night.
Right.
So they had that time to prepare, but they played late last night.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
nice shot there by Johns. That's it. That's kind of the element that he brings. He's a really good standstill shooter, good athlete, and he gets out in transition well. Looking for a lob here probably. Oh, well, Reed decides I'm just going to take it for myself. Understandable. He's out ahead, but when you look at this this trio of guards that Long Island has, they're going to be tough to handle just about any level, especially if they're all playing well in sync. There we see a couple of buckets from Isaiah Campbell-Finch. He's kind of been the forgotten guy here this evening. Played as well as anybody yesterday, I felt like, from a guard perspective. Just hadn't really been able to get going tonight. Johns misses from the corner there. Sheridan, nice job tapping it around. Looks like he lost control of it there at the end, though. So the lead's been kind of hovering around 15 points for really most of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're also in a situation where it feels like Long Island's fully in control, but they haven't really run away with this thing yet.
Yeah, well, you look, I mean, they basically outscored them in the first quarter by 15, and it's been even ever since.
Nice move there by Bronson.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't finish it, though.
I mean, they outscored them 24-9 in the first quarter. It was 13-13 in the second. So
it's been that way the whole time. Nice move there by Pierre.
And it's now 7-5 Long Island in this quarter. So,
goes Knox. Nice take to
I like Knox right there, though, trying to get something going in transition because he's really, and he's been matched up here at the beginning of the second half with Sheridan, who's got a 3-inch height advantage on him. And like here a minute ago, they tried to throw it into him in the post right here, and Sheridan just, with his reach, was able to reach around and knock it away.
Yep.
So
his strength is going to be in that transition phase where he can use his athleticism to be able to rise up over guys that are a little bit taller than him. But again, if it's just a straight-up post, we saw that kind of in the first half. He just hasn't really been very effective.
Yeah. They're just not going to let him get it in there.
No. Well, and the other part is you got Long Island who can rotate 3, 6'9" or taller guys in at will, and it's just not something that even like I said, with Knox being about 6'6" at this point, anytime you can rotate those type of bodies, he may be a better player than all three of those other guys, but those bodies rotating on you right there, they can wear on you for sure. Nice move by Reed. We got an offensive foul there. Tried to slide by. I
don't know what we're going to
call.
Right
I think
here.
I saw. Offensive. Yep, it was called offense from the wing.
Yeah, the wing official called that rather than the guy on the baseline.
Yep, and actually, the wing official had a better look at it there than the official on the baseline was kind of blocked by the player taking the charge. So, nice job by the wing official. Stepping in and making the proper call. I think it was the right call.
And really a nice job by him communicating.
Yep.
I mean, that's something you like to see, too.
Nice move by Knox. That's what we were accustomed to seeing last night.
Well,
he got really good height off the floor there that time.
Well, and the other thing, they were able to get it to him kind of here on the wing rather than trying to get it. It was almost like in the mid post rather than than down on the block, where he's able to use his quickness against Njai rather than trying to body him up there.
But like you said earlier, he kind of needs some space. He needs just a little bit of room to operate with his style of play. Even though he does have that ability to step out and hit a jump shot, that one quick, decisive move, and then getting up in the air where he seems to thrive. That's the kind of play that we want to see more of that, obviously. And I'll give him credit. He's stuck with it. It hasn't been the easiest thing. Nice. There's Reed again, seeing the whole floor, beating that press. I don't think there's a team that you're going to want to press with the ball handling ability that they've got. They're going to be almost impossible to keep in front, and that's what's going to end up happening on the back end, as those finishes are going to come with regularity.
You see so many high school teams that have maybe one or two really good ball handlers.
Yeah.
Well, they've got three.
Yeah.
And right now they've got four on the floor that can handle it. So it's hard to press a team like that. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, he's got a really nice stroke from the perimeter. And overall, that is something that we're going to continue to see throughout this tournament, I suspect. Nice move there, good little step through. He's getting his coaches over there doing a good job of keeping pumping him up, and the fact that he's been challenged at a level physically this evening that obviously didn't happen last night. Speaking of Knox, and he's starting to meet that challenge here a little bit more readily in the second half. I think he settled a little bit too much for the jump shots in the first half, and he's a physically capable guy, obviously, and then you got to be able to play through some contact at this level. And I love the fact that his coaches are reinforcing that with him. And
sometimes, like I think we talked a little bit about last night, you get to the line, see that ball go in a little bit,
yep.
And then you're going to have a chance to make that jumper. You're going to have a chance to make that turnaround shot. It's really hard if you're trying to make that, especially a contested one, get you something easy.
Yeah.
And there hadn't been a lot of easy to come by here, so, looks like Coach Buck from Long Island Lutheran not real happy with the way things have kind of started going here.
Yep.
He's going to put a stop to that.
So 30-second timeout here. We're in about the halfway point, heading on to the halfway point of the third quarter. Again, it's kind of felt this way through this whole process where Long Island's really kind of built this 15-point lead and kind of hung. I wouldn't say being content to hang there. It's just kind of hung there just naturally. Hasn't really dipped below that. Maybe got down to 12 or 13 points once, but Tampa really hasn't been able to threaten Long Island here at all. And even though the second quarter was just kind of a wash, this third quarter is kind of shaping up the same way.
Yeah.
Where Long Island's just kind of got to do what they need to continue to stay comfortable here without having to expend a ton of energy.
Yeah, and when you're playing 4 days in a row, potentially. I mean, not potentially. They're going to play 4 days in a row. You need to save energy where you can.
Agreed.
Especially that it's not like they've got some depth, but they haven't subbed a lot.
No.
I mean, they've subbed the big guys, the guards.
Yeah.
And by and large,
have played pretty much the entire game.
We've had a couple of guards come off the bench, but the big guys have rotated in and out. But it's been the same guys. So if you're going to play 4 days in a row to try to win this tournament, you're going to need to save some energy where you can.
Absolutely. Strategically, and I think we've kind of noticed this too with Long Island. Nice shot there by Bronson. Stepped into that one. So you've kind of noticed that they kind of trade off a little bit. You'll see Reed on the ball for a session, and then all of a sudden Pierre's got the ball back into his hands. They seem to be able to lean on each other there in a pretty proficient fashion through this entire process. Johns hasn't been so much of a ball. He's kind of that traditional wing that lets the game come to him, and he's got some slashing ability. But really, what he wants to do is let those other guys go to work, and then him be the beneficiary of maybe a pass to the perimeter or a back cut, something of that nature. And there goes Reed. Nice tip up there by the big man, Carroll. He brings that to the table for sure. There goes, there he is, being aggressive there as well. Knox is starting to find his way through this. Again, the one thing that I would say, as I've noticed him here in the third quarter, is he is kind of using that wing as a jumping off point, both literally and figuratively. He's not trying to occupy space that's occupied by these other big guys.
And something I think you see too right there, Tampa Catholic is trying to run even off of a make.
Yeah.
They're trying to get them some easy shots because they know if they get set in the half court with these guys, they're going to just kill them.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they're not going to let them have anything easy. And so even right there, I mean, there was a bucket on the other end right there, and they got it down here in super quick.
Steal by Bronson right there. You got to kind of have to manufacture ways to get into the half court quickly and get shots up. It's nice inside out action. There's Branch from the corner, no good. Up strong is Knox, couldn't get it to go, and again, that's just the difference. When you're running up against that level of body and that much size, Carroll just bodied him up right there, and there wasn't a whole lot he could do at 6'11", and Carroll is a thick dude, right?
He absolutely is.
For a guy that's that big, he's got a pretty good set of shoulders on him, and he's not the most athletic guy that we're going to see in this deal, but again, for 6'11", he can body up just about anybody. And he also looks like he could be 25 years old.
He
Right?
absolutely does.
He really does.
I walked by him on my way up here before this game, and yeah.
He is a mature-looking fellow, let's just put it that way. Yeah.
First of all, and I'm not a small person, but I felt pretty small.
He's a big
and
fella,
yeah. I was pretty impressed with the facial hair and everything he's got going on.
Yeah. I'd say he's probably a good 250 at a minimum, 255, 260 maybe. Got a nice little putback there. Solid guy.
But here, I mean, look at it. He
he's out
switches
there.
out on him now. He got blown by right there, but the guy missed the layup.
Well, but he was there to challenge the shot. Mm-hmm. You know, and when you got that level of length, you know, you don't have to be perfect. Again, not a pass that he's probably going to handle there.
No
foul. A little bounce pass might have worked there. I would always encourage my guards when you're going to try to feed the post. The bounce pass is so much easier to handle for bigger guys. And bounce passes just by nature tend to bounce up, right? So those guys can kind of get a little bit more rhythm when they're trying to gather. So I tell you how many post drills we went through at King when I was there, where we worked on. Coach at the time basically said about 95% of your passes that are going to go into the post are going to be bounce passes.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much you're going to throw a lob now and then, but you're never, and nobody's going to let you throw a straight on entry pass.
Unless they're just terrible.
Unless they are really bad. I mean, you know, that's pretty much what we tell our kids. Unless they really are not very good, they're not going to let you throw that pass.
And then it won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're going to have to ball fake. You're going to have to use head and shoulder fakes to be able to get their hands up in order to make those passes. There's a little bit of an art to post feeds.
Yes.
Right? There really is. And if you can do it well, you're going to find yourself with a lot of assists in that column by the end of the ball game.
And it's something you really have to drill and you really have to work on.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
all the time.
Absolutely. Be a daily thing.
And it's something that you forget to work on sometimes as a coach. Yeah. But it's something you really have to work on.
Yeah. And I was fortunate when I was there at King in the early 2000s. We had a very large overall group of guys. We had 4 or 5 post players that were 6'7" plus. So we worked on it regularly.
Yeah.
Right. Once you get a good handle on that, again, nothing's better as a guard when your big guys are happy, because that means they are rebounding, they're moving their feet defensively, and all of that. And if they're not, because the big dogs aren't getting fed, man, sometimes they get a little ornery.
Yeah. Right? I mean, and sometimes even if you know they're not going to score, you have to get it in there too.
Absolutely.
I mean, give them that chance, get them a little bit happy, and then they, like you just said, they will defend for you. They'll do all the other things they need to do for you.
Well, and as a guy that prided himself on his ability to knock down long-range shots, nothing's better than to be able to throw that ball into those post players and say, hey, you know what? You don't know, just kick that right back out there. I'll take care of that.
Well, yeah, especially if that dude's scoring some and they have to double down.
Yeah. So the intricacies of the game there. I mean, for the game has become really perimeter oriented in a lot of ways, and ways to manufacture good looks on the perimeter. The inside out action always works.
Yeah,
you're going to have.
Yeah, whether it's a post feed or a penetrating pitch.
Yep.
I mean, that's still inside out.
It is. Yep.
And I agree with you. That's the best way to manufacture outside shots.
And usually those are going to be rhythm shots as somebody's coming off a dribble and you're being able to step into one. If you want high percentage looks as well. Yes. That's the way to get to them. But again, we look out here. And what do we have? I guess you could probably say that both Sheridan and Injai are traditional post players, right? I'm not sure that Tampa's got a traditional post player out there at all.
I don't know that they're exactly post players in the post up back to the basket sense.
Right.
They're more in the get to the dunker spot.
Yeah, right.
Right. Catch that when your guy helps up and throw it down or just throw it off the window, but. They're not really so much back to the basket guys like we saw, for example, with Hornecker in the last game. I mean, he's more of he can play a lot with his back to the basket. Mm-hmm. These guys are more, kind of, I would say, more modern bigs, honestly, where they're, that guy, I bet they probably also, they haven't really run a whole lot of high screens in this game, high screen and rolls, but I think that's something that those guys will get to where they can do.
Yeah. Well, and again, the way the game's evolved, we've seen the game become not just more perimeter-oriented, but more guard-oriented. It's always been. It's a misnomer to say that the game hasn't always been guard-oriented, because it has.
100%.
But the having grown up in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there was this era of big men, especially at the NBA level. But obviously, those guys all played at the college level as well. And there was a premium put on those guys. And it's interesting that the highest level of the game, especially, was so center-dominated through that era. And you can obviously we can go through all the names, but the reality of it is how much that things have changed in just that last about 20 to 25 years.
Well, and you even think about now, your elite big men make really good money.
Yeah.
But like your average center makes way less than like your average point guard.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, and some of these guys find themselves just in the wrong era.
Not to mention like an average like wing. Your guys. I mean, like a LeBron or a Kawhi Leonard, or those guys that play primarily on the wing. Those are your guys that are your really big ticket items because they're just harder to come by.
Yeah.
In this day and age,
they meet a certain body type with a certain skill set. Yeah, and they, when you talk about scoring efficiency, but also being able to guard, right? That's just kind of what it comes down to. So, I don't know. When I watch the modern NBA, I wouldn't say that it's unrecognizable in comparison to the way it was in the 90s, in the heyday that I look at it as. But the reality is, you look at the skill level that is there, it's just on another level overall.
Well, and the shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, the shooting has just become such a premium. I mean, you think about it, you'll see guys now who take more three. When you think of a three-point shooter, most people our age are going to think of Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys take more threes in a year than he took in his career.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth of the matter.
That's just the way the game is played now. And, I mean, I'm personally a person who really loves it. I love guys that can really shoot. And I enjoy the heck out of that. I mean, I love watching a guy like Steph Curry play. I love watching Klay Thompson shoot the ball, and on and on and on. But it's just a different game.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, there's a little bit of the ballet element, I think, the showmanship and the artistry that goes along with shooting a basketball that you just don't get with a, toss it in and let Shaquille O'Neal go to work, And again, those guys were elegant in their own right, just simply because they were such behemoth human beings, but they could also operate in the way that they operated. But again, I'm a shooter by nature. And I really enjoy that aspect as well. But the skill level is just so high with what those guys have to do. And by the way, these are shots that are coming from 28, 30 feet regularly. So I mean, it's just kind of wild.
And I mean, you're seeing kind of trickling down to this level the Steph Curry effect.
Yeah.
I mean, guys watch Steph now and they see him shooting from all over the floor. And they're like, hey, I want to do that.
Yeah, right.
I want to do that. Now, Steph Curry has ungodly hand-eye coordination. I mean, it's just phenomenal. But these guys are definitely seeing it and being like, hey, that's something I can do. I may not be able to dunk like Michael Jordan, or I may not be able – I'm not big like Shaq, or I'm not big even like Kevin Durant. But I can work on my shot. And you're just seeing more and more guys – on all levels of basketball who are shooting from everywhere. And that makes it fun. I mean, some of them are taking shots that are, how shall we say, ill-advised. But that's how you get there. I mean, I'm sure at one point those were ill-advised shots for Steph. They're definitely not now.
Right.
Any shot is a good shot for that guy. If he's in the gym, he's in range. But it's just a really fun way that the game has evolved. And I know some people don't like it. I think it's great. So
well, it's different strokes for different folks in terms of what you see as as not just fundamental to the game, but how games do naturally evolve. Especially as like I said, the one thing I noticed during the quarantine, I got on the old YouTube per the regular, and kind of went down a few rabbit holes with looking at some 1980s games. A lot of finals games are on YouTube, and looking back at Nate Archibald, who's he's backing the ball down to the free throw line as the point guard. And like I said, Larry Bird in an 82 game season takes 100 threes. One per game essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like wow. So there's whole games that Larry Bird never even stepped outside the 3-point line. So that type of stuff I find to be interesting when you do a modern comparison to what the game has become. Right.
Yeah.
Again, there's charm in both facets, but I agree with you. This was kind of the whole point of me bringing this up in the first place. Is I see the skill level with a lot of these kids at these higher levels really is impressive in terms of what they can do with the basketball, how they handle it. In a lot of these guys are still works in progress in terms of their shooting, but that comes later as they mature into fully who they're going to be basketball-wise. A lot of times at the college level because they can focus on it a little bit more. Yeah. But man, the athleticism is definitely there, and you can tell these guys spend a lot of time in the gym. It's very evident that these guys play a lot of ball.
So basically, what we're saying is maybe the kids are all right.
Yeah. I think we need to give the kids a little bit more credit for the amount of effort and time they're putting into this. And the biggest thing with whether it's youth sports or AAU or any of that other stuff is you got to. Some of the biggest issues that we have with youth is the fact that they're not involved in anything.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to denigrate the progress of the game, that's one thing. But understand who's making the progress. Right? Mm-hmm. That's an important point to make when it comes to young folks in this day and age. If they're out here doing this type of stuff, this is positive.
Yes.
It's as good as positive as stuff as they're going to find. And with these coaches and these other individuals that they're running across being positive influences in their lives, there's just nothing like athletics to bring all that together. Right? And so, having been fortunate enough to go through that process myself, it is there's just nothing else like it. There just isn't.
Yep.
So, filling some time here in a game that's kind of gotten a little out of hand. Long Island is up by 25 over Tampa Catholic, and Tampa just has not had any answers for how to deal with what Long Island brings to the table. Long Island's been very, very under control this entire period of time, especially on the defensive end. Has just taken control of this game, getting to the point now where we're getting some runouts and some dunks on their offensive end. But as highly anticipated as this game was, most of the anticipation was that it was going to be a back and forth affair between some of the highly touted guys from Long Island and probably Knox and Bronson from Tampa, and it just hasn't materialized.
Well, let's take a second here while we got a little bit and run down some scores from today. Give everybody an update for those of you that haven't been able to follow us throughout the day. This morning in some consolation bracket action, we had Bearden taking down Abingdon 81-45. Then we had a real tight affair with Union edging Volunteer 61-60. The next game saw Knox Catholic run away from Westridge 94-50. Probably one of the closer games of the day in an overtime affair. Tennessee High, a group near and dear to our hearts, took down East Hamilton 67-64. And again, that was an overtime affair. Then we got to the championship bracket action here this evening, the games that we've been here with you for. Probably the game of the night so far, Beckmar hold on for dear life against Dorman. Dorman got behind big early, made a big comeback, and came up just short 71-70, the Patriots over the Cavaliers. Then probably the upset of the night, without question, the upset of the tournament so far, Greenville upsetting Dr. Phillips 76-72. Our last game here, Amarillo beat Jonesboro 56-43. And then, of course, here we have where we are at the present. So that gets you kind of up to date. Here in a minute we'll talk a little bit about the schedule for tomorrow, but Long Island continues to kind of be the team that's the more aggressive team out here on the floor, even in these late stages with a pretty significant lead.
So we've got Johns at the line here. Blocking foul led to this. He's, again, another one of those guys that I guess when you think about what Long Island brings to the table, he's probably the third guy that most folks are gonna focus upon. But he's got the potential to be in these games as we move into the latter stages of the tournament, He's an explosive scorer and a guy that could stand out, I think, especially with Reed's willingness to give the ball up when he finds open guys. Johns, if he gets hot, is one of those guys that can really fill it up.
Yep.
So he's one to keep an eye on as we work our way through the latter stages of this tournament. We move into the semifinal action tomorrow. We have a 3-point contest and a dunk contest tomorrow. Is that correct?
No, just the dunk contest.
Just the dunk contest.
3-point contest is on Saturday.
Is on Saturday. Gotcha.
Or Friday.
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 Okay. So we got those. Okay. Want to make sure we got that taken care of. Wasn't sure if they were back to back or not.
No. 5 o'clock tomorrow is the dunk contest, and then sometime on Friday, I'll have to look at the schedule here in a second. Is the 3-point contest?
Seemed like I heard 4 o'clock.
It's usually around 4 o'clock. So
very good. So
we'll have
some exciting action. Those are always fun as well. What it really does is give you a real inside look at probably some of the higher end fellas in this tournament. You see the athleticism on display, and again, I love a good three-point shooting contest as well. So those will be as a part of the schedule over the next couple of days as well. So be looking out for those. Dunk contest is always one that brings the folks out, and that's going to be happening before the semifinal games.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow. So it's good stuff.
So let's talk a little bit about the schedule tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow, the first game of the day is at 9 o'clock. It's Bearden taking on Union. Bears and Bulldogs going at each other. That's in what's really the sixth place bracket now. Mm-hmm. And then the other kind of sixth place bracket semifinal will be Knox Catholic and Tennessee High at 10:30. So we'll see if the Vikings can have something for B.J. Edwards and the Fighting Irish. Mm-hmm. Then the fifth place bracket takes over at noon with Dorman taking on Dr. Phillips. That should be a fun affair. Mm-hmm. A couple teams. It'll be interesting to see how both of those teams respond to their losses today, but two really good teams doing battle there. Mm-hmm. Then at 1:30, Jonesboro will take on the winner of this game, or the loser of this game, I should say. So that'll be at 1:30. Then we'll have a little break, clear the gym, get everything ready. There's a little bit of setup involved with the slam dunk contest. Slam dunk contest currently slated, it says on here, for 5:30 tomorrow. So I misspoke.
Yep. Okay.
So at 5:30 is the Dick's Sporting Goods slam dunk contest. And then we'll get along to the semifinal games at 7 o'clock. We'll have Beckmar taking on Greenville. And then Amarillo will take on the winner of this game, which, of course, looks like it's going to be Long Island Lutheran, and what should be a really interesting matchup, a serious contrast of styles. So, it's going to be a terrific day tomorrow. I hope, really, honestly, I'll just be frank. That's usually my favorite day of the tournament because you still got a bunch of teams playing, and so we got more games, and you've got the dunk contest, which is always a good time.
Excellent.
So it'll be a great day tomorrow. We've had great crowds. I mean, it's kind of thinned out in here now with this game having gotten out of hand, but we really hope that you folks that are with us online right now that are still watching will turn out for a great day of action tomorrow.
Absolutely. So, and again, you still got 4 teams that are vying for that championship game appearance. Got to love that. That's those games are going to be high energy for sure. And again, I do love the fact that we've got some contrasting styles in those games. I'm really interested to see Amarillo and their real disciplined execution-based style go up against these more high-octane offenses. But again, we got all kinds of talent that's been on display, and as these teams start to get their bearings here in Bristol, the quality of play was really high today. The teams I think that really are separating themselves are doing that. Mm-hmm. Right? They're not necessarily the ones that we thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Greenville kind of coming in and shaking things up, but speaking of the Green Devils, they probably played the best outside of the first about minute and a half of that ball game. The rest of that game probably as good at execution and team-based basketball that I've seen in this entire tournament. So they were really fun to watch.
Coach Woolsey and his guys, he had those guys ready to play today.
Yep.
I mean, really had a great plan. And I think the thing that stood out to me the most was the way that they really adjusted to the inside game and basically totally took it away from from Dr. Phillips. I mean, they just absolutely strangled that inside game and really made Ernest Uday Jr. a non-factor, which
that's saying something.
I wouldn't have thought after the first quarter of that game, because the first quarter he was unstoppable.
Right.
So really a lot of credit to those guys. I mean, obviously a lot of credit to, Jacoby Gillespie and, all of his teammates who just came in and believed the whole time, and you could just see them. And another thing that I think kind of helped those guys was they had a lot of folks here cheering for them.
I was thinking that same thing. I said shout out to the Greenville crowd. I think they probably had the best representation here that I've seen so far, and they were into it, and you could tell that their guys fed off it.
Yeah, I mean, they turned and pumped their fist at them when they made a three and, really got into it. So, I mean, congratulations to the Green Devils. That's a huge win. That's certainly one you can hang your hat on going forward in the season. And, I mean, I'm sure they're thinking, well, that's okay. We're not done yet. We got another one tomorrow. So,
but as a coach, you're looking back at that and saying, well, we're not. That's the in terms of the level of physical talent that we're going to see this year, it's probably not going to get any better than that. I would think.
No, I wouldn't think so.
And that Greenville, both in just about every sport that you think about, they've just been a factory down there. Football, basketball, baseball, the whole thing. So a town of 17,000 people.
Yes,
right? It's just kind of wild that they've been able to have that level of success, and we're talking about sustained success. For year after year. But that's a testament to them as well. They've got solid coaching going on down there. They've got an athletic base, obviously, that they've developed over years. And they've kind of been the envy, to a certain extent, of a lot of what happens here in East Tennessee, no matter what level we're talking about.
Yep. So, again, going to have some great games in the early session tomorrow. A couple that we honestly might have expected to be in the semifinal session tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
So, it's going to be a great ticket tomorrow.
It'll be
definitely worth your $10 to get out here and see these games tomorrow.
Absolutely. I think, that Dorman and Dr. Phillips game really stands out to me as one that, those guys both be licking their wounds a little bit after a tough, especially Dorman, a tough loss, a chance to win it right there at the end. Couldn't quite execute well enough, and I think maybe from Dr. Phillips' side, maybe some wounded pride there. A little bit, maybe more than anything. And some of those guys, I think, especially the highest level guys that Dr. Phillips brings to the table, probably going to face a pretty heavy challenge from their coaching staff to come back and say, hey, not only did we not play near as well as we needed to, but we got beat by a team that just was the better team this evening. Not that we handed them anything. They if anything, they handed it to us.
Yes.
So it's a reality check for a team that's really talented, obviously, but just wasn't good enough to get that done tonight. So I would really see, and again, you talk about what Dorman brings to the table, two really high quality front court players in Surratt and Clowney. It should be interesting to see how those guys play against an attack like what Dr. Phillips brings, with both inside and outside presences there. So it should be interesting in that aspect.
Yeah, it should be a great matchup. To me, that one is definitely worth the price of admission, not to mention all the others. So, hopefully people will get out here tomorrow, check it out as we get towards the end of the week. Been a great tournament so far. And we look forward to some more tomorrow and Friday. Going to be a fun time, and, look forward to some more fun.
Absolutely. Well, and again, if the Greenville game was any testament, the better the crowds, the better the game, right? And so the more people we put in Viking Hall, the games tend to be games where people are going to rise to the occasion when the stands are full. So absolutely, come on out. Starting tomorrow, you can go to arbysclassic.net for all the schedule and results that you want to look for. But if you're wondering what time games are tomorrow, just jump online, check that out. Just Google Arby's Classic. I'm sure you can probably get there really quickly. So, as we end this evening, I've been your host, CJ Manahan, alongside Coach Charlie Tiller. We've enjoyed bringing this action to you this evening. Again, shout out to our producer, Colin Moore, as well. And we will be back tomorrow evening to be able to bring you some action in here, the 38th annual Arby's Classic. We'll be back with you all tomorrow.